on Great Day Live is sponsored by the Karl Truman Law Office.
Hey, most of us are parents, of course, and we think teenagers don't listen to us. Sometimes we're right. But we need to keep talking because parents are the biggest influence on teen safety behind the wheel. October 18th is the start of Teen Driver Safety Week, and attorney Karl Truman has suggestions for helping keep kids safe. Good to see you, Karl, as always. And naturally, that's the scariest moment really for every parent is when they get the keys and you know you've been through the training and you think, oh, they're ready to go, and then you see them drive away and you're like, ah.
Yes, I've been there twice with my children, so I understand that completely. And you know, as an attorney whose my practice is primarily automobile accidents, that's something that I'm very aware of. And so I want to promote safety, not just what happens after the fact. Yeah.
Exactly right. And so you have suggestions and things, actually some statistics we want to show too, just to remind people just how devastating it is in the teenage driving realm.
Yes, it's hard to believe that still automobile crashes are the leading cause of death for teenage drivers. I mean, it's very frightening to think about that.
Yeah, look at those numbers. 2,614 teen drivers involved in fatal crashes. And look how many injuries. I mean, it's just astounding. Let's talk about parenting and teenagers and how important this is that parents don't just say, he's a big kid now, he can handle himself.
Well, the key thing is to talk to your teenage drivers, to talk about some, you know, the 5 basic things, the primary things that really affect teenage safety. You know, the first being, you know, dealing with speed, dealing with texting, things like passengers, you know, because interestingly, the more teenage passengers in a car, the greater likelihood that there is to be a crash with a teen.
And I can tell you, when I was a teenager, that was an issue many times when someone else is driving. There's peer pressure from the other kids in there too. If a kid's driving recklessly and some of them are thinking it's funny, and then you might be the quiet one thinking, this isn't smart, but you don't want to speak up. And that's an important thing for a parent to pass on to a kid. Say something.
Sure. I've had cases involving teens out on country roads hilltopping, you know, where they take their car, their truck, and they jump over the hill thinking it's fun. And some very serious crashes that I've seen cases like that. So it's so important just to have that discussion, you know, not just lecturing, you know, but be able to have that dialogue to talk about it.
And if there's also like a friend, you know, sometimes your kids, they love their parents, but then like their uncle is because he's the cool guy or whatever. It also helps to let somebody like that tell your kids a few things too, because they're more attentive sometimes.
Sure, and of course, as always with anything, as when we influence our children, is to lead by example. If they see you on your phone while you're driving, they're going to think, you know, well, why is he telling me not to do that, but they're doing it?
Exactly right. Well, yeah, so many teenagers obviously just have the limited amount of history of driving, and so the dangers are so heightened. Anyway, I appreciate your time on this subject, and if you want more information about the teen driving safety and any legal advice, you can call Karl Truman at 502-222-2222. He's online at trumanlaw.com. Thanks, Karl.